Hello, and welcome back to Learn English with Student Studio. I'm Emma, and I'm so excited to be here with all of you today.
And I'm Tom. It's great to be back too, Emma. And to all our listeners, wherever you are, thanks for tuning in. We've got a really fun topic for you today, don't we?
Oh, definitely, Tom. Today, we're diving into a topic that everyone loves, food. We're going to explore the wonderful world of food, from ordering in restaurants to understanding menus and even chatting about different kinds of cuisine from all over the globe.
Yeah, it's something we all do, right? So, it's super practical English that you can use every single day, whether you're traveling or just going out with friends in an English-speaking country.
Exactly. We want to make sure you feel confident when you're dining out or just talking about your favorite foods. We'll break down common phrases, explain useful vocabulary, and help you understand how native speakers talk about food in a natural way.
And as always, we'll do it in a fun, conversational way. Like we're just chatting with friends. Our goal is to make learning English enjoyable and, easy to remember.
Absolutely. So get ready to open your ears and maybe even your appetite, because we're about to take you on a delicious journey through the English language, all centered around food. Are you ready, Tom?
I'm more than ready, Emma. Let's dig in.
Okay, so speaking of eating out, I have a story that comes to mind, a really memorable experience for me. It was actually one of my first times ordering food completely in English in a proper restaurant, not just, a fast food place. I remember being super nervous, like, what if I say something wrong or they don't understand me at all?
Oh, I can totally imagine that feeling. It's quite different, isn't it, when you're sitting down, trying to understand everything on the menu, and then trying to make sure you order exactly what you want. The pressure is definitely on.
Exactly. So I was at this really nice Italian restaurant, and I really wanted pasta with a specific sauce. I looked at the menu and I saw marinara sauce, which to me seemed straightforward enough. So I said to the waiter, "I'll have the pasta with the marinara sauce, please." And he just looked at me, a bit confused, like he hadn't quite caught what I said.
Oh no, the confused waiter look. I know it well. What happened next? Did you try again?
Well, I did. I repeated it, a bit slower this time, maybe a bit louder, thinking perhaps he didn't hear me properly. But still the same confused look. So then I just thought, okay, new plan. I just pointed directly to the menu item on the page. And he immediately went, "Oh, you mean the marinara sauce?" And I was like, "Yes, that one. Perfect."
See, that's a perfect example of how pronunciation, even a small difference, can sometimes make a big difference in understanding. But you handled it perfectly, Emma. Pointing is such a practical tip when you're unsure, especially if you're, feeling a bit shy about your pronunciation, or if you just, can't quite remember the word.
Totally. It works every time, and it saves a lot of potential awkwardness. And that experience really made me think about how important it is to know some key phrases for dining out confidently. So, Tom, let's start from the very beginning. What if you want to make a reservation at a restaurant?
Right, making a reservation or booking a table is often the first step, especially for popular places or if you're planning a dinner with a bigger group. You usually call the restaurant for this. So, Emma, what would be a good, polite way to start that phone conversation?
Okay, so you pick up the phone and you might say something like, "Hello, I'd like to book a table, please." Or a little more formally, "I'd like to make a reservation for tonight." Simple, clear, get straight to the point without too many extra words.
Perfect. And then, they'll almost always ask you for the date, the time, and how many people. So you can respond with something like, for tonight at 7 p.m. for 2 people, for example. Or, we're a party of 4, which means there will be 4 people in your group.
Yes, being clear about the number of people is really important for the restaurant to prepare your table. And sometimes they might ask, what name is the reservation under? So you just say your name like, it's under Emma Smith. Or, my name is Emma.
And if you have any special requests, Emma, like, if you prefer a certain type of seating, you can ask. For instance, could we possibly have a table by the window? Or, do you have high chairs available for a baby? This is a good time to mention those things when you book.
That's a great point, Tom. Don't be afraid to ask. The worst they can say is no, right? And what if the time you want isn't available? Like you wanted 7 p.m., but they're fully booked for that time.
Yes, that happens a lot, especially on busy nights. They might say, I'm sorry, we're fully booked at 7 p.m. Then you can ask, do you have anything available later? Or, what's the next available time? Be flexible if you can, it might help you get a table.
So useful. And then, when it's all confirmed and you've got your time sorted, you can finish up by saying, great, thank you. Or, perfect, see you then. You know, just a nice and polite way to end the call.
Okay, so you've successfully made your reservation. Now it's the day of your dinner, and you arrive at the restaurant. You walk in, and there's usually someone there to greet you, often called the host or hostess. What do you say to them, Emma, when you first walk in?
Usually, they'll be the first to speak. They might say, welcome. Do you have a reservation? Or, how many are in your party? And you can reply, yes, we have a reservation under Emma. Or if you don't have one, you say, no, we don't have a reservation, but there are 2 of us. Do you have a table free?
Nice and clear. Or if you just walk in without a booking and you see an empty table that looks good, you might just approach them and say, table for 2, please. Or, we're looking for a table for 3. They'll then let you know if they have space immediately or if there's a wait. They might say, it'll be about a 15-minute wait. Then you can decide if you want to wait or maybe try somewhere else. It's pretty straightforward, actually.
Right, you're finally seated, you've got the menu in front of you. What's next? Usually, a waiter or waitress will come to your table pretty quickly to take your drink order first. This is sometimes before you even look at the food menu.
Yes, they might ask, can I get you something to drink? Or, are you ready to order drinks? You can say, I'll have a glass of water, please. Or, a cola for me, please. Or, if you're with others, we'd like a bottle of sparkling water for the table, if you're sharing.
And if you need a moment to look at the menu, maybe you haven't decided yet or you're still waiting for friends, it's perfectly fine to say, could we have a few more minutes, please? Or, we're not quite ready yet, thank you. There's no need to rush your decision at all.
Absolutely. Take your time. And then, when you're ready to order your food, they'll come back to your table and ask, are you ready to order? Or, what can I get for you today?
And this is where you get to pick your delicious meal. You can say, I'll have the pasta, please. Or, I'd like the chicken curry. A very common and natural phrase that native speakers use a lot is also, I'll go with the, followed by your choice. So, I'll go with the salmon. It sounds very natural and confident, a good one to remember.
It really does. And don't forget to specify if you have preferences or special requests about how your food is prepared. Like, if you're ordering steak, you might say, I'd like the steak medium rare, please. Or if you don't want a certain ingredient, Could I have the burger without onions?
Oh, that's a good one. And also asking for things on the side. For example, could I have the salad dressing on the side? This means you want it separate from your main dish, not mixed in with the food. It's very useful if you don't want too much dressing, or maybe you have an allergy to an ingredient in the dressing, or you just prefer to add it yourself.
Super useful. What about if you want to order something for everyone to share, like an appetizer or a starter?
Good question. You could say, for an appetizer, we'll share the calamari. Or, could we get the bread basket for the table? Again, that phrase for the table means it's for everyone to share, not just for one person. It's a very common way to say it in English.
Excellent. And what about if you need to get the waiter's attention, but they're busy helping another table or they're not looking your way?
You never want to shout across the room, right? That's definitely not polite in most restaurants. A polite way is to try to make eye contact with them and maybe give a small nod. If they're looking your way, you can subtly say, "Excuse me," or "Pardon me." And then when they come over, you can ask, "Could we get some more napkins, please?" Or "Could I get another drink?"
Or, "We're ready to order whenever you are." It's polite and clear. Just avoid snapping your fingers or yelling across the room. That's generally not considered good manners in most English-speaking countries, and, people might look at you funny.
Exactly. Politeness is key in these situations. And finally, you've finished your amazing meal. Everything was delicious. Now it's time to pay. How do you ask for the bill, Tom?
The most common way is, "Could we have the bill, please?" Or, "Can we get the check, please?" In American English, check is very common, while in British English, bill is more common. So you can use either word, bill, or check, and most places will understand both without any problem.
Good distinction there. So bill or check both work perfectly. And what if you want to split the bill so each person pays for their own food, not just one person paying for everyone?
That happens all the time, especially when you're out with friends or colleagues. You can say, "Could we split the bill, please?" Or, "Can weight be separately?" Sometimes the server will actually ask you directly, "Are you paying together or separately?"
And then you just say, "Separately, please," or "Together, please." Easy peasy. And when they bring the bill, you just check it quickly to make sure everything you ordered is correct, and then you pay with cash or a card.
Right? And if you're paying with a card, they might ask, "Debit or credit?" Or, "Would you like to pay by card?" You can just say, "Credit," or "Debit," or "Yes, by card, please." And if they ask, "Do you want to add a tip?" That's where you decide how much extra money you want to give for their service, which, again, depends on the country's customs.
That's a whole other cultural point, tipping, which varies a lot by country, but knowing how to ask for the bill is absolutely essential. So just to quickly recap some of those really essential phrases for dining out, Tom.
Definitely. So, if you're making a reservation, you can say, "I'd like to book a table for 2 people at 7 p.m.
When you arrive, "We have a reservation under Emma." Or if you walk in, "Table for 3, please."
When you're ordering, "Could we have a few more minutes?" And, "I'll have the chicken, please." Don't forget, on the side, for special requests.
And if you need something extra during your meal, "Could I get some more water?"
And when you're done, "Excuse me, could we have the bill, please?" And if you're with friends, "Could we split the bill?"
Practicing these will make you feel so much more confident dining out. It makes the whole experience so much smoother and more enjoyable, right, Tom?
Absolutely. It shows you know how to communicate clearly and politely. Essential for getting that delicious food you wanted.
That's so true, Tom. Feeling confident about ordering makes a huge difference. But sometimes, even if you know how to order, the menu itself can be a bit confusing, right?
Oh, absolutely, Emma. It's like a whole new language sometimes, just looking at all the different dishes and ingredients. Especially when you're in a new country or trying a cuisine you're not familiar with.
Exactly. So let's talk about that. Decoding menus, understanding what's on your plate. Because it's not just about saying, I'll have the chicken. Sometimes you need to know what kind of chicken or how it's cooked.
Yeah, menus usually have different sections. Most common are probably appetizers or starters, which are small dishes you eat before the main meal. Think of things like, soup or salad, or maybe some bread to begin with.
Right, like a little warm-up for your stomach. Then you move on to the main courses or entrees. This is the main part of your meal, usually a bigger dish with meat, fish, or a vegetarian option.
And often, with the main course, you'll see sides listed. These are extra dishes like, French fries, mashed potatoes, or steamed vegetables. You often have to order these separately from your main dish.
That's a good point. And then, of course, after all that delicious food, there's usually a dessert section for something sweet. The cakes, ice cream, fruit, my favorite part probably.
And drinks, of course. Sometimes they're on the food menu, sometimes a separate menu altogether. But knowing these sections helps you navigate the menu quickly, even if you don't know every single word.
Definitely. But what if you see something interesting on the menu, but you're not sure what it is? Or maybe you have dietary restrictions, like you're vegetarian or you can't eat gluten. How do you ask about that?
Good question. This is where asking clarifying questions comes in handy. If you see a dish and you don't know an ingredient, you can simply ask the waiter, "What is X?" For example, "What is couscous?" or "What are capers?"
Yes, that's simple and direct. Or you could say, what's in the X dish? If you want to know all the ingredients. Like, what's in the seafood pasta?
Exactly. And if you have a dietary restriction, this is super important. You can say, "Is this vegetarian?" if you don't eat meat. Or, "Does this dish contain nuts?" "I have a nut allergy." Being clear about allergies is really, really important for your safety.
It really is. Or if you need gluten-free options, you can ask, do you have any gluten-free options? Or specifically about a dish, is this dish gluten-free? Gluten-free means it doesn't contain wheat, barley, or rye, which some people can't eat.
And for other restrictions, you might say, "I can't eat dairy. Are there any dairy-free options?" Or if you prefer no spice, "Is this dish spicy?" Or, "Can this be made without chili?"
Yeah, knowing how to ask about spice levels is key. Some places might ask you, how spicy would you like it? And you can say, not spicy, please, or medium spicy, or very spicy.
And sometimes you want to know how the food is cooked, right? Like, is it fried or baked? You can ask, "How is the chicken prepared?" They might say, "It's grilled," which means cooked on a grill, or "It's roasted," which means cooked in an oven with dry heat.
Or fried, which means cooked in hot oil like French fries. Or steamed, which is cooked using steam from boiling water, often for vegetables or fish, which is a very healthy way to cook.
So, if you're looking at a fish dish, for example, you could ask, "Is the salmon grilled or baked?" This helps you know what to expect.
That's super helpful. And if you're trying to decide between two dishes, you could even ask the waiter for a recommendation. You can say, what do you recommend? Or what's your most popular dish? That can be a fun way to try something new.
Oh, I love doing that. Sometimes they'll say, the roasted lamb is very popular tonight, or many people enjoy the seafood paella. It gives you a good idea. And don't be afraid to ask for more details. If they say paella and you don't know what that is, you can still follow up with, what is paella exactly?
Exactly. The goal is to make sure you get exactly what you want and you understand what you're eating. So, to recap some of those useful menu phrases, if you don't know an ingredient, what is X?
If you have allergies, does this contain nuts? Or, I'm allergic to peanuts.
For dietary needs, is this vegetarian? Or do you have gluten-free options?
To know how it's cooked, how is this prepared? Or, is the fish grilled or fried?
And for suggestions, what do you recommend?
Having these phrases ready will make you feel much more in control when you're looking at that menu, and ensure you order something you'll truly enjoy.
Right? No more guessing games or accidentally ordering something you didn't expect.
Exactly. And speaking of trying new things, once you feel comfortable understanding menus, it opens up a whole new world, trying different cuisines from all over the world. Oh, I love this topic. Exploring global cuisines is one of my favorite things to do. There's just so much variety, isn't there? Different flavors, different ways of cooking.
Absolutely. It's like traveling through food. And for our listeners, it's a fantastic way to experience culture and learn new English words too. So, Tom, what's one of your absolute favorite international cuisines?
That's a tough one because I like so many. But if I had to pick just one, I think I'd go with Mexican cuisine. I just love the vibrant flavors.
Oh, good choice. Mexican food is so popular. What common dishes do you particularly enjoy?
Well, tacos, obviously. Everyone knows tacos. But also burritos, quesadillas, and enchiladas. I love how they often use fresh ingredients like avocado, cilantro, and lime. The flavors are usually very, fresh and often a bit spicy, but in a good way. Like a chili kick.
Yes, that spiciness is a signature. And the combination of flavors like the savory meat with the fresh salsa and a squeeze of lime, it's amazing. Do you like spicy food, Tom?
I do. I can handle a bit of heat. What about you, Emma? What's a cuisine you really enjoy?
For me, it has to be Italian. I mean, who doesn't love Italian food? It's so comforting and delicious. From pasta to pizza, it's just always satisfying.
Oh, you're right. Classic comfort food. What are some of your favorite dishes in Italian cuisine?
Well, of course, pasta in all its forms. Spaghetti carbonara, lasagna, ravioli. And pizza, of course. I love how simple yet flavorful Italian cooking can be. They use fresh ingredients like tomatoes, basil, garlic, and olive oil to create really rich and satisfying tastes. It's often very savory, full of umami.
Yeah, savory is a great word for it. It's not sweet, not sour, but full of deep, satisfying flavor. Like a rich sauce.
Exactly. And speaking of different tastes, let's talk about some vocabulary our listeners can use to describe food. We've mentioned spicy, which means it has a strong, hot flavor, often from chili peppers.
Right. And then there's sweet, like a dessert or fruit, often with sugar. And sour, like lemons or vinegar. Some Asian dishes can be a little sour, like with lime or tamarind.
Yes, like a sour and spicy Thai soup. And then there's bitter, which is the opposite of sweet, like black coffee or dark chocolate, or even some leafy green vegetables.
And savory, as we said, which is that rich, full-bodied taste, not sweet or sour, often found in meats, cheeses, or mushrooms. It's often called umami, too, especially in Japanese cuisine.
That's a good one to know, umami. It's that fifth basic taste that's savory and pleasant. What about textures, Tom? How do we describe those?
Good point. Food can be crunchy, like fresh vegetables or fried chips, or crispy, which is similar, often for fried chicken or spring rolls. It makes a nice sound when you bite into it.
And then soft, like mashed potatoes or tender meat, or creamy, like a thick soup or a smooth dessert.
We also have rich, for food that has a lot of flavor and often a lot of butter or cream, like a rich chocolate cake. And mild, which means not strong in flavor, not spicy, just gentle.
So if you're trying to describe a dish, you can combine these. This curry is spicy and creamy, or the salad is fresh and crunchy.
Perfect. Now, let's talk about cultural eating habits, because that's also part of the world of food. For example, in many Asian cultures, people use chopsticks to eat.
Yes, like in China, Japan, Korea. And in some cultures, like in parts of India or Africa, people traditionally eat with their hands, especially for certain dishes.
That's right. And some cuisines are all about sharing, like Spanish tapas or Chinese dim sum. You order many small dishes and everyone shares from them. It's a very social way to eat.
I love that. It encourages everyone to try a little bit of everything. In some cultures, like in Italy, dinner is eaten much later in the evening, around 8 or 9 p.m., while in other places, like the UK or the US, dinner is usually earlier, around 6 or 7 p.m.
And portion sizes can be different too. In some countries, portions are huge, while in others, they are smaller and more controlled. It's all part of the cultural experience.
It really is. It's fascinating how food connects to everything. So, going back to cuisines, what's another international food you've really enjoyed, Tom? Maybe something a bit less common?
Okay. I recently tried Ethiopian food, and it was a really unique experience. The main dish is often a large, spongy flatbread called injera, and you use it to scoop up different stews and vegetables.
Oh, I've heard about that. So you eat with your hands using the injera?
Exactly. And the flavors are very different. They use a lot of spices, often earthy and complex, but not always super spicy. It's very aromatic, and it's meant to be shared from a large communal platter. It's a very rich and soulful cuisine.
That sounds amazing. And aromatic is a great word for food that smells really good and has strong, pleasant spices. For me, another cuisine I love is Thai food. It's famous for balancing different tastes: sweet, sour, spicy, salty, and sometimes even a little bitter.
That balance is key in Thai cooking. What are some typical Thai dishes you enjoy?
Pad Thai, of course, which is a noodle dish that's sweet and savory. And green curry or red curry, which are often quite spicy and creamy. Tom yum soup is another classic. It's a hot and sour soup with shrimp, very flavorful and tangy.
Tang is a good word, like a slightly sour, sharp, refreshing taste, often from citrus or vinegar.
Yes, perfect for that tom yum soup. And the use of fresh herbs like cilantro and lemongrass and ingredients like coconut milk gives Thai food a very distinct and fresh flavor.
It sounds delicious. So, Emma, what advice would you give our listeners about exploring global cuisines?
My advice would be adventurous. Don't be afraid to try something new, even if you don't recognize all the ingredients on the menu. Questions like we discussed.
Yes, step outside your comfort zone. You might discover a new favorite food or a whole new cuisine you love. And trying new foods is a fantastic way to learn about different cultures, even without traveling far.
Absolutely. Start with something popular like Mexican or Italian, and then maybe try something like Ethiopian or Vietnamese. Vietnamese food, for example, often features fresh herbs, light broths, and grilled meats like the famous pho soup. It's very fresh and aromatic.
Oh, pho is wonderful. And it's such a hearty meal. So, you can describe food as hearty when it's filling and satisfying.
Right? And don't be shy to use your new vocabulary to describe what you're eating. Is it spicy? Sweet? Savory? Is it crunchy? Creamy? The more you practice, the more natural it will feel.
Precisely. And remember, food is a universal language, but learning the English to talk about it will make your dining experiences much more enjoyable and enriching.
Wow, what a journey through the world of food. We've talked about so much today, from making reservations to trying Ethiopian injera.
It really has been a fun one. So, for our listeners, let's just quickly recap some of those really useful phrases and words we covered. Your, food English toolkit, as we called it.
Great idea, Tom. So, when you're dining out, remember phrases like, "I'd like to make a reservation for 2, please."
Or, when you arrive, "We have a reservation under the name Emma." And then, when you're ready to order, "I'll have the pasta, please." Or, "Could I get a glass of water?"
And don't forget how to politely ask for the bill at the end. "Could we have the bill, please?" Or "Check, please."
Exactly. Then, when you're looking at the menu, remember you can ask about specific dishes. Like, "What exactly is this dish?" Or, "Does this contain nuts?" for allergies.
And asking about dietary needs is important. Do you have any vegetarian options? Or is this gluten-free?
Yeah, and for understanding how the food is cooked, you can ask, "Is it fried or baked?" Or, "How is this prepared?"
Right? And we learned a lot of words to describe food itself. Remember spicy for heat, sweet for sugar, sour for lemon, bitter for dark coffee, and savory for that rich umami taste.
And for texture, crunchy, like a fresh salad, creamy, like a thick soup, or hearty, like a filling stew.
Absolutely. These words will help you express what you like or don't like about food. It really helps you communicate clearly.
And being adventurous, right? Don't be afraid to try new things and use these phrases to navigate new culinary experiences.
Precisely. The more you practice these phrases and words, the more confident you'll feel when you're ordering food or just chatting about your favorite meals.
Absolutely. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? Building that confidence, step by step. So, remember to keep practicing everything we talked about today.
Yes, exactly. Try to use these phrases when you're thinking in English or even just talking to yourself. Or, if you're lucky enough to go to a restaurant, give them a try. You might surprise yourself.
That's the best way to learn, by doing. And a huge thank you to all of you, our amazing listeners, for tuning in to Learn English with Student Studio today. We really appreciate you spending your time with us.
It means a lot. We hope you had as much fun learning about food as we did talking about it.
And don't forget, we'll be back soon with another exciting episode. Next time, we're going to dive into the world of travel. We'll talk about everything from booking flights and hotels to asking for directions and making the most of your trip abroad.
Oh, that's going to be so useful. So get ready to dress formally because we'll be discussing all the English you need for your next adventure.
So, make sure you join us for that. Until then, keep practicing your English, keep exploring new flavors, and keep learning.
Bye for now.
See you next time.